What's going on, guys? It's Nicholas here, and today we're going to be talking about virtual reality. So naturally, reading through various articles of virtual reality, or as some like to say, VR, I had to dive further into it. And when I did, I was drawn to two articles in particular. If you feel like you want to look more into it, I have the articles referenced down below in the description, alongside with a blog post link. In the blog, I explain my decision-making skills for this video. Now, let's get back to the video. We're going to go further into that later on in the video. However, as for now, we must ask ourselves, what is virtual reality? Virtual reality is a platform that can be used in various ways to make you feel as though you're in a different world. It's almost like a world where you have control of everything that happens. This can range from learning something new and using virtual reality to guide you on how to do it, or simply wanting to go on a roller coaster, but you can't because you're stuck in Melbourne's lockdown, so instead of going on the real thing, you just go on a virtual roller coaster instead. Yep, that's the story of my life right now. But that doesn't mean it's just for roller coasters. It could also be that you have a fear of something and that you wish to overcome it, and virtual reality can be a part of that process. Let's call it a form of therapy. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So you may be asking yourself, how on earth does virtual reality help those with fears? Well, the article that I was reading named Virtual Reality Therapy for Social Phobia, a Scoping Review, we can see that Elam Saleh has studied the characteristics of people ranging between 18 and 70 years of age. And for those that had a social phobia, were then subjected to a virtual reality therapeutic approach. In the article, the VR approach is compared of that with cognitive behavioral therapy, exposure group therapy, in vivo exposure therapy, and waiting list. On the 5 different approaches of therapy, virtual reality therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy had the most remarkable improvements for those with social phobia. Now, where VR has the upper hand in the situation is that taking the VR approach is affordable and has its proven satisfactory results. There were 2 types of measurements that were involved in this to ensure that it was indeed working. The first measure was a self-report measure of their symptoms, behaviours, beliefs, and attitude. It is important to note that these were taken both pre-treatment and post-treatment. The second form of measure was a physiological measure. This includes bodily variations of the heart rate, dry mouth, and blood pressure. Going over the second article named Virtual Reality Therapy in Social Anxiety Disorder, we see very similar results to the first article. Mr. Emmelkamp elaborates on this by talking about virtual worlds, providing us with research and studies about social anxiety. Participants were invested in this study with higher levels of social anxiety and the use of verbal interactions between clients and virtual humans. In this study, while being monitored by therapists, participants were associated with significantly lower levels of social anxiety and higher self-efficiency in just over 3 months. How great is that? Going back to the first article, it very clearly stated that this kind of therapy can be utilised in very different scenarios, not just for social phobia. VR therapy can be used to improve overall well-being and quality of life, and can go as far as reducing or even eliminating fear. Remember the example of riding a virtual roller coaster? Imagine those scared of roller coasters being presented with the opportunity to potentially conquer their fear without physically riding a roller coaster, or reaching the point that they're comfortable enough to give the real thing a go. I think VR is such an amazing tool and can be utilised for numerous purposes, not just gaming and entertainment as many may assume, and not just for therapeutic purposes either. It's also good for learning, and in fact, the sky's the limit with VR. The more creatively people will see VR, the more it will benefit us. If you know another way VR can be utilised, why don't you write a comment down below for everyone to see. If you liked the video or learnt something new, give it a thumbs up, and please do consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Wow, what a great video.